Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I wanted to give you an update on the case of Judge Olu Stevens. In case you didn't know, Judge Olu Stevens is the judge who took the remarkable stand of supporting a motion to remove or dismiss a jury panel that was basically 40 to 1, which is means that there was only one African American out of 41 people. And what this did was this spiraled into a broader conversation about the use of all white juries to convict African American defendants. In case you're not aware, this is really a virus in our judicial system. It's led to the false incarceration of thousands and thousands and thousands of black people, or thousands of people, mostly black. Many of these individuals have families. Their children are growing up without parents. As a result of this, they're being exposed to things like prison rape, prison torture, beatings by guards and other inmates, consistent and permanent marginalization from the economic system, which only makes our communities worse because they're bringing things back to the community when you go through that kind of trauma. They're bringing disease back to the community, mental health issues to the community, perhaps violence to the community because there are no opportunities at that point. Once you've been marginalized from the economic system, it becomes a destructive cycle that has served to annihilate all but annihilate the black family in America over the last 40 years. It's directly linked to the mass incarceration epidemic, where African Americans are consistently under siege from a white supremacist power structure and individuals who are committed to this white supremacy by keeping black people in the place that we've been in the last 400 years. Every blue moon, every now and then, there is a person of color with the power and the wherewithal to stand up against this. And I don't know if he chose to be in this position or not, but he certainly handled it like a man. Judge Olu Stevens, this situation kind of drafted him. I don't know if I don't know if the brother went to work that day looking for a fight, but he certainly got one, and he didn't back away from the fight. He and his wife Raymonda, they're both Morehouse and Spelman graduates. In my opinion, they're individuals who are aware enough of the issues that when this fight came to them, they took it on. So it wasn't just a fight to protect Judge Stevens' role on the bench, but it was also a fight for the community at large. They embraced the community support that came along with it. They embraced the things I was doing to help them, and they emerged victorious. Judge Stevens was reinstated back to the bench. In case you didn't know, he was actually removed from the bench temporarily for several days, if not more than a week or two, as they decided that they were going to take him off of all criminal cases. So understand this. What effectively was going on in this system was they were saying that because you're not doing what we want you to do, which is to uphold this clearly, undeniably biased and flawed system. The fact that you're even challenging this clearly, undeniably biased and flawed system, despite the fact that you're doing the right thing, we're going to punish you as if you're doing the wrong thing. And I was personally offended by the fact that he was taken off the bench to begin with. You're usually taken off your job when you can't do your job. Judge Stevens is one of the most outstanding judges in the United States. He was elected at a very young age. A lot of people supported him because they could tell that this man is very well educated, very extremely qualified, extremely capable, very responsible. This notion that these educated and intelligent and capable black people are being treated like runaway slaves or like bad children because they deviate from what they're being told to do is something that should alarm all of us. Now, understand it's a very natural thing. People don't like to give away power, and Kentucky is the ultimate plantation. Believe me, they pulled the whole House Negro arsenal out on this one. We had black lawyers and black judges in the state of Kentucky that were fighting against this. And I couldn't understand this. I remember thinking, why would a black person in the legal system who knows what kind of damage is being done to the black community on any way even entertain the idea of supporting this power structure? Well, it's because we pretty much for hundreds of years have been trained to work hard for massa. Because massa's got good money, massa will take good care of us. And that's how we feel. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party can be massa. The whites are in charge that promise you the bigger house and the Bentley and more prestige. That's massa. And many of us will work harder for massa than we will for our own community. And what I encourage you to do is to kind of learn from this that a couple of things. One, when we stick together, we really can't be stopped. We become a force to be reckoned with. If you've abandoned the black community because you feel that the black community is not strong, or because the black community can't sustain and provide for itself, or because the black community is just not where it's at, think again. In 2015, I will tell you things are different from the way they were in, say, 1995. We are growing and evolving every day. This is the community you want to be aligned with, because if you come out with that Uncle Tom shit, you will get your ass kicked. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. I tried to be all formal and official, but what the hell? I'm just gonna tell you what I'm thinking here. And that's the first thing. Don't be afraid to align yourself with your community. Don't be afraid to follow your conscience and just do what is right. When I was getting approached by different people that wanted to put stuff in my ear about this, and this, personal stuff about the judge and all that, I just said, you know what? I'm keeping it real simple. It's about right and wrong. All white juries are wrong. The data shows that they are wrong. But I don't need to see the data to see how many of my own relatives have been screwed by all white juries. I don't need that data. So to me, the issue was bigger than Judge Stevens. It was bigger than one person, one incident. It was about the community and the fact that we are being persecuted by these all white juries all across the country, and it's destroying our communities. Little girls are growing up without their daddy in the house because some all white jury with a white prosecutor, white judge, white defense attorney, white police officer all decided that they were going to annihilate him and eliminate him from society. That is all I focus on. That is all I see when you come talk to me with this political nonsense. So the thing is, we elite Negroes, those of us who make all this money and have all this status and prestige, we have the luxury of making this into a game, into making this all about Democrats versus Republicans, or who's going to get Attorney of the Year, or who's going to get the such and such award, or who's going to get the bigger salary and the better job. But there are real people who are suffering real consequences while we're playing these games, and I don't have a lot of tolerance for that. The second thing I want you to understand is that there is a value to being radical. Don't be afraid to be the angry black person. Don't be afraid to be disruptive. I mean, really disruptive. One of the things that impressed me the most with the activists that were out in the street. Now, I went out there with them a couple of days. I went to three different rallies. I went to a rally at a place called the Fly Cubicle. I went to another rally at a church called Saint King Solomon, and I went to a rally in the street right near the courthouse. And we were out there in the wind and the rain and the cold, and I didn't go out there with these young people every day. They were out there every single day. Many of them could not pay the rent that week. Many of them were not able to spend time with their kids. They were not able. They were driving from hundreds of miles away. Some of them, they weren't going to work because you can't go to work if you're protesting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They were so dedicated and they were so disruptive, and I just loved it. They would stand. They were standing in the middle of the street, blocking traffic, saying, I care about this issue so much that if you want to deal with me right now, you're gonna have to run me over and kill me dead in order to make your point, because I'm tired of it. And so I love that, and I think that being disruptive is the way to get things done. Don't be afraid to be disruptive. Don't be afraid to be the angry black person. Those are a couple thoughts that come to mind. The last thought that really comes to mind is that I think that this whole fight was ridiculous. It was an insult that Judge Stevens even had to go through all of this. Here, this man, he didn't break any law. He didn't do anything ridiculous on the job. He simply exercised his judicial authority and made a decision, like any judge is supposed to be allowed to do. And I don't think in a lot of cities across the country that decision would have raised the alarm bells that it did. I definitely know that in most cities you wouldn't see the district attorney, they call him the Commonwealth attorney in Kentucky, but basically it's the district attorney, go through that much effort to go after a judge, to also challenge a decision made by a jury in which the defendant was acquitted. This man was acquitted in this case. So this prosecutor was so upset that this man was acquitted by a jury of his peers that he pushed this case. He pushed a motion to get the judge taken off of all criminal cases because he wanted his all white jury. That's ridiculous. That's the craziest thing. And one of the things I was really hoping was that Judge Stevens wouldn't be asked to apologize for anything because I know that they were in these meetings and talking about this all day long. They were in meetings for about 10 hours today, from what I understand. People were kind of little birds were kind of telling me what was going on from here and there, and I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I hope they don't make this black man apologize when he didn't do anything wrong. If anybody should be apologizing, it should be that district attorney or they call him the Commonwealth attorney. Remember that? It should be him. He should be apologizing. You're persecuting this man for doing his job in a legal and ethical way. What are you really saying to the black people in the city? You're saying you don't matter. I'm so mad I didn't get an all white jury. It wasn't that the jury was even all black. The final jury was, I think, something like, I think it had four black people and eight whites. You still have the majority, but you don't just want the majority, you want everything. You want complete exclusion of the black people in that city. So whatever you're doing politically, if you're a member of the Democratic Party, this says something about your party and about where you stand as it pertains to the people of that community. There is nothing outrageous that this judge asked for other than to have black people represented. Remember, I told you guys about the one drop rule, the study at Duke University that showed that if you add just one black jury or one black juror to a jury, that the difference in conviction rates between whites and blacks drops to virtually nothing. So we're not even asking for all black juries, which would make sense actually, given that some of these crimes are committed in all black neighborhoods. we Nobody's asking for that. They're asking for just a little bit of inclusion. That's how crazy the racism has become. That when you have black people that just ask to be included, you have white folks who getting outraged because they're used to having all the power. You have people that are upset because you're disrupting the status quo. Oh, we just want to keep exterminating your babies and sending your people to prison, like Jews were being sent away to the concentration camps. We just want to keep on just coming in your community, scooping them up with white police officers and sending them away to these horrible torture chambers. We want you to be quiet about that. And what's so crazy about the mental illness is that in Kentucky, that's exactly what you get. You get people that are quiet about it, and then you have some elite black people who get positions in government. And 9 times out of 10, when I hear about a high ranking government official in a state like Kentucky, I pretty much know what I'm going to get. You're not going to get a person who's deeply concerned about the well being of the African American community. You're probably going to get a house slave. And believe me, the house slaves came out in full force in this situation because what do they do? What do powerful white politicians do when the Negroes get out of line? Well, they go to their Negro whisperers, their liaisons. They pay them a little money, promise them a little power, and they have them go out and they say, "Please, just go talk to your people and calm them down." Well, that's why I tell you right now, the best thing that happened to the black community in the last 3 years is that black people on the ground have stopped listening to the Negro whisperers. They've stopped listening to these Negro liaisons who achieve all this power because they align themselves with the white power structure and do what they can to kind of calm black people down. There was no rally that occurred this year in a major city that Al Sharpton could have went in and just shut it down. He couldn't do that. 10 years ago, he could do that. That's why he would make money to do that kind of thing. Now he can't do that anymore because the people are speaking and the people are more committed to truth. They're more committed to just doing what is right. They're not in it for any kind of financial, political gain. They're just trying to do what they're supposed to do. So that's those are my thoughts on the issue. I'm very happy for Judge Stevens. I think that a difference was made in this situation. I wish the laws could have been changed, and I think that's going to be the next fight. But even before that, just the fact that the issue is laid on the table, that it's been shown that people are willing to fight for this issue. Maybe in the future elections there'll be conversations about this issue, and who knows? Maybe Judge Stevens himself will hand over his robe and run for higher office or something like that. I'd love to see him in office. He knows how to win elections. So the black people gave, or not just the black people, everybody gave him tremendous support when he ran a few years ago. So who knows? Maybe something big is in the works for him. Well, that's about it. I just wanted to tell you guys what was going on. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I am gone. Peace.